Hi, and welcome to Transaction TV. I'm your host, Anthony Atanasio, CEO of Hawk Strategies. And today, our guest is my good friend, Ken Messina, president of Asphalt Paving Systems.
Good to see you, Anthony, as always.
Ken, good to be seen, but even better to see you. Thanks for joining us on today's episode. So, Ken, you and I have ran around and done a lot together over the years, and you're one of the nation's leaders in pavement preservation. So, could you just, for our audience, give them a brief, overview on what is pavement preservation? What does it mean for our roads? And what's your career been focused on?
Well, simply put it at a high level, Anthony, it's a matter of maintaining the roadways that you've already paid for. It's no different than maintaining the roof on your house, changing the oil in your car.
Right.
You don't wait for the engine to blow up to do something to it to fix it. We've seen the benefits from it. We know that the expense is less. We know that we keep our roads longer. We know there's reductions in greenhouse gases and money saved. So it's very difficult to find a negative in pavement preservation, only if you choose the wrong road, though. Then you will get a negative.
Right. Right road, right application is what you guys say a lot, because you can take a good to fair road and extend its life by 6 to 8 years per application. But if you try to preserve a road that's too far gone, right,
It's the best way to kill a program.
Yeah.
You want to kill a program, go sell somebody something they shouldn't have. It'll fail in a very short order of time, and they'll never try it again. And that doesn't serve anybody any good.
Right. Now, you just finished serving on a panel today with the director of pavement management for DOT, for a county engineer who's embraced pavement preservation. And I'm just going to give one statistic for our viewers. When I was at the Department of Transportation, when I got there in 2010, the standing state of good repair of our roadways in this state was 43%. 43% of our roads were considered in acceptable condition. Today, that number sits at 82%. And if you ask the folks at DOT, the biggest reason for that was an increase in their pavement preservation budget. So talk about a little bit about your experience on our state roadways, Ken, and what's going on.
I thought it was interesting, and Robert Blight did a fantastic job on the panel today discussing, how New Jersey has gone from where they were to where they are. But I think it's important to note that, I've been doing this for a long time. This is my 36th year in business with asphalt paving systems. And back in 2000, New Jersey was, not only were they not doing it, they refused to do it. They knew they had to, but they wouldn't do it. And slowly but surely, as data came out, products improved, and the DOT, to their credit, was willing to try it. That's the thing. At one point in time, pavement preservation was something that it was risky at one time. Nobody wanted to put their reputation on doing a new process on a road that could fail. And the DOT, not that we thought anything would fail, but they took the chances. They've tried different applications. They've got a huge toolbox, which is why they've been as successful as they have. They start out with their hot mix thin overlays, whether it's ultra thin friction course or Hepto, right down to their hot applied chip seals, their slurry seals. I mean, they do crack sealing. They do a lot, and that is to their benefit because they are so far ahead of most states in this country,
Right.
You'd be surprised.
So I was just about to say, you and I have done a lot of traveling around this country and have been involved with infrastructure delivery in more than just New Jersey. And New Jersey DOT does deserve a major kudos for being a leader in pavement preservation. So much so that recently we worked together and the department changed their local aid program. And now they've introduced pavement preservation into their grant program because they recognize the benefit of it on their roadways so much that they said to the municipalities and counties, hey guys, you really should be doing more of this too, right?
Well, you were part of that fight early on where the chance of that happening was just about zero. But the fact of the matter is the reason that New Jersey DOT has done so well with preserving their roads and using pavement preservation is because they got away from the worst first mentality.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. You're starting to see people get away from the worst first mentality, which is what state aid was predicated on.
Correct.
It was for mill and overlays and reconstructs. It was
Correct.
for getting a block or two done. And now we can go in and literally for somebody preserve 4 or 5 miles of roadway, and they could still get some money to do a mill and overlay or drainage work or something they need, but they're preserving what they've spent a lot of money on. Are they getting it at 5 years? Probably not. But there's a lot of states that are working at 10 years and still having successful pavement preservation programs.
So you talked about, how many lane miles they get. For a square yard of traditional hot mix paving versus one of the more utilized, let's say, slurry seal microsurfacing pavement preservation techniques, what's the cost savings look like as far as how much it would cost you to pave a road traditionally versus preserving it.
Well, if you're looking strictly at product to product,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at about 25% of the cost of a hot mix overlay. That's as simple as it gets. Now, when you get into bigger projects, if you're doing apples to apples, the drainage work is the same, the striping is the same.
Right.
So it might change that number a little bit as far as percentage. But if you look at the two items, if you look at a slurry seal versus a 2-inch mill and fill, it's going to be 25% of what that mill and fill is.
And that's incredible. And in today's day and age where our governments are facing increased healthcare costs, energy costs, labor costs, everything, if they could save money by preserving the roads that they have in good to fair condition at a fraction of the cost of fully repaving them, that's quite an added benefit to the taxpayer.
And you're also talking about a product that people used to look at for 3 to 5 years, and now you're looking at 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the chemistries and the mix designs that are coming out for a lot of these products are so superior to what they were 10 years ago. You talk about costs, and I know this is getting off the subject a little bit, but we're all going through the crunch right now with fuel, and we're seeing those increases across the board. But still, pavement preservation, regardless of what some companies are doing, profiteering off of a bad thing in Iran, right? We're still getting a bang for the buck using pavement preservation.
That's fantastic. So let's close with this. You've seen a lot in your 36 years, and obviously you've seen New Jersey go in a much better direction with pavement preservation. If you could just wave a wand or you had a crystal ball to do what you wanted to do, what would be one thing you would hope for in the future or see as this industry continues to grow on behalf of the taxpayers? What would you like to see?
Well, I think what we want to see is a Department of Transportation that is completely satisfied with the work that's getting done. And, I think Robert Blight actually is one of the persons who said it best to me is, we look at our state highways because that's what we do. We're NJDOT. But we also look at cities. We look at counties. And it's a network. It's not just one road. We need the entire network to be improved. So if I wanted to see one thing, I would want to see the entire network improve the same way that NJDOT has been able to improve their roadways.
Well, one town and one county at a time. I'm sure we're going to get there.
We're getting there, aren't we?
We're getting there,
We're
exactly.
getting there.
So, well, Ken, it is always a pleasure. Thank you for your leadership in the infrastructure field and for your friendship. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Ken Messina, President of Asphalt Paving Systems, for joining us on this episode of Transaction TV. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Anthony.